When modern physics examines the universe, it asks what matter is made of. The ancient Upanishads asked a different question: what reality is. We perceive the natural world, the oceans, the night sky, these layered mountains, as enduring. But subject to time, every physical structure eventually decays and changes. The texts divide existence into two categories. There is the finite, which is subject to death and decay, and there is the infinite, the Bhuma, the fullness that does not pass away. The Upanishads describe Brahman as an uncaused, formless reality. It is the infinite ground that allows the universe to exist without being exhausted by it. The texts describe Brahman as the truth of truth. It is the invisible bridge holding the diverse elements of the cosmos in harmony, preventing creation from collapsing into chaos. During the late Vedic period, spiritual life was highly external. Seekers practiced apara vidya, lower knowledge, which focused on maintaining cosmic order through precise physical rituals and the sacred fire. But the Mundaka Upanishad records a shift. Sages realized that any action performed in the physical world yields a finite result. To find the infinite, they had to move toward paravidya, higher knowledge. They distinguished between the personal creator deity, Brahmaji, who shapes the universe through intense meditation, and Brahman, the absolute source from which even the creator emerges. To explain how formless reality generates the physical world, the texts use simple observations. They compare it to a spider spinning a web out of its own body, or plants sprouting naturally from the earth. The most famous metaphor compares creation to a well-stoked fire. Thousands of sparks fly outward, taking distinct paths and shapes, but they are made of the exact same substance as the central flame. In its original state, reality is avyakrita, undifferentiated and formless. Through creation, it becomes vyakrita, a world of distinct names, forms, and geometric complexities. Those who recognize this process see Brahman as the Bhuta Yonim, the womb of all beings. They look at the diverse effects in the physical world and perceive the single cause hidden inside every one of them. Having concluded that external rituals yield only temporary results, the sages turned their investigation inward. They shifted their gaze from the stars and the fire pit to what they called the cavity of the heart. They developed a strict method of diagnostic elimination known as neti, not this, not this. They systematically crossed out anything the mind could observe as an object, the physical body, the breath, the senses, and even the thoughts themselves. If Brahman is the ultimate subject, it cannot be observed. The Kena Upanishad describes it as the ear behind hearing and the mind behind thinking. Brahman remains beyond the range of human sight. It is the light that allows the eye to see, but because it is the source of perception, the eye cannot turn back to observe it. Brahman cannot be articulated by speech, nor grasped by the intellect. Rather, it is the underlying power that gives speech its voice and gives the mind its capacity to understand. Searching for Brahman is like looking for the glasses you are currently wearing. The absolute reality is the foundation of our existence, masquerading quietly as our own consciousness. The Upanishads assert a direct convergence between the macro and the micro. They state that the space within the human heart is as vast and complete as the space containing the Milky Way. The Kena Upanishad illustrates this with two precise examples. In the external world, it is the sudden illuminating flash of a lightning bolt. Internally, the texts explain, it is the exact same phenomenon, the sudden flash of a thought illuminating the mind. The energy is identical. Brahman is the Jyotisham Jyotish, the single light of all lights radiating simultaneously through the vast cosmos and the intimate human mind. Knowledge of Brahman operates differently than knowledge of objects. Because it is the ultimate knower, it can never be the object of its own search. It remains the pure, immortal, and indestructible foundation upon which all worlds rest. The Mundaka Upanishad suggests that knowing this indestructible self allows a person to see themselves as both the cause and the effect. When the individual no longer sees themselves as a separate, decaying entity, the fear of death and limitation disappears. This is what the sages mean by cutting the knot of ignorance and crossing beyond sorrow. The final view is of an observable physical world, yet founded on a reality unreachable by any instrument of the mind. If the ultimate reality is situated perfectly beyond the reach of the senses, speech, and mind, how can we ever say we know it?